Alright guys, welcome back to more Crushing the Meta videos, and today I have a video for you guys to talk about Spike Brothers in Vanguard Zero. So I've already covered all the cards that you could see in Vanguard Zero and you could play with Spike. If you haven't seen that video yet, you could check it out. The link will be in the description section below for you guys. If you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and like our videos if you enjoyed them. If not, let us know in the comment section below what do you want to see differently. Alright, so in the first video, we have covered all the cards that you could use to build your Spike deck with. And there's not much to choose from, as you saw from the Grand Blue event. But it's a lot of fun to play, and Spike is actually very strong, the same with Grand Blue if you play it well. Alright, the Spike event is coming up next week, so we have to be ready to know which cards we want to get, because we want to know how to build our deck. So when it comes to me, I love Spike, so I made them in real life, and I tested the deck a lot, and this is what I've come up with. So this is Spike Brothers deck profile, Vanguard Zero style in real life. Alright, so we start by 4 copies of the General Siegfried, and then we add in the 4 copies of the Juggernaut Maximum, 4 copies of Skydiver, and 1 copy of Unite Attacker. The thing is, we have to play Unite Attacker because we don't have any other grade 3 that we could add to the deck, so we are kind of, yeah, we have to play him. The Skydiver, the Juggernaut, and the General Siegfried are pretty much, you need to play them at 4 because they give you huge advantage over your opponent. So what does this card do? I will explain it. First we have General Siegfried, which has 2 abilities. Both of them are on Vanguard. The first ability is whenever you drive check a grade 3, you could call that to an open Vanguard circle. And the second ability, when he's boosted, he gets an extra 3k. Alright, as you see, he kind of cheats. That's something that Spike Brothers do. they love to cheat. But he cheats the mechanic of Vzero, which is normally when you drive check a grade 3, it has a trigger icon on it. So the trigger goes off and that grade 3 goes to the drop zone. But with Siegfried, that grade 3 will not go to the drop zone. You will call that to an open Vanguard circle. So that is huge advantage to gain. So that's amazing about General Siegfried right there. Then we get to the Juggernaut Maximum, which has the ability that he originally had. That's on Rearguard circle. When this unit attacks, you Soul Blast 1, he gains extra 5k, then he goes back to the bottom of your deck. This ability helps you to leave an open Rearguard circle behind, which means that you could use Siegfried or Deadly Dan. Skydiver has the ability that when his attack hits Vanguard, he goes to the soul, so you could call something from your hand. So he's an extra soul charge, he leaves an open Vanguard behind him, but you could also just call something from your hand to re-attack again. So that's amazing about Skydiver. The one different thing that they changed about him is normally if he hits anything, he could go to the soul, but now he needs to hit the Vanguard, which I think is very fair. Then we come to Unite Attacker. He's pretty much your Mega Blast bitch. He has the ability, first ability is when this unit, at the beginning of your main phase, he gains extra 2k by soul charging something. That skill is actually very important in Spike because the soul charge is something that you need and you use a lot. So that's good. But normally you don't really have him as Vanguard, you want your Siegfried, or even one of these is alright because they are 11k. Then his second ability is the Mega Blast, of course, so that's a Soul Blast of 6 and a Counter Blast of 4. And then this unit, whenever it attacks hits a Vanguard, you may check the top 5 cards of your deck, and by doing so you may call up to 5 among them to your Rearguards. It doesn't even have to be open Rearguard circle, you could just call them to Rearguards. Alright, so that's it about the grade 3s. I will show you the combo later, that what they do. Then we have the Panther. When it comes to the grade 2, we have the Panther chilling at 4, we have Bracky chilling at 4, we have Devil Summoner chilling also at 4, and 1 Spike Bouncer. As you can see, these lineups, the grade 3 and the grade 2 lineup, all have 1 card that we kind of don't really want to play, but we have to play because we don't have anything else to add in here. Panther is the 10k, of course. It's a good card to play in Zero. And then we come to High Speed Bracky, the same skill as your Juggernaut, so he gains extra 5k when you Soul Blast and he attacks, and then he goes back to the bottom of the deck. The Devil Summoner has the ability the same as the one from Nova's. Whenever it's called, you check the top card of your deck. If it's a grade 1 or a grade 2, you call it to your regular circle. An important thing about him is he does not call to open regular circle. You can call even on the top of himself if you want to. The Devil Summoner is an important card in spikes as in Novas, especially if you go first and you want to rush your opponent but not lose too much cards from hand. This guy helps you out. The only thing that you really don't want to call is the Perfect Guard, but hey, it's still a good booster or attacker. Alright, now we go to the grade 1s, and that's when we start with the 3 copies of Deadly Dan, then the 3 copies of your Assault Squad, then another 3 copies of Reckless Express, then not 3 but 4 PGs. Alright, so the PGs are important in Spike, important especially in Vzero, because in Spike you sometimes don't really have a front row where your grade 2s will be chilling there, so you need your defense, and your defense is most of the time your PGs. Reckless Express has the same ability as Bracky and Juggernaut, so whenever it attacks, you Soul Blast 1 and then he gains extra 5k, make him a 12k attacker, so he could hit anything, and then he goes back to the bottom of your deck. Assault Squad is a 6k in Vanguard Vzero, which is good. Whenever they boost in attack and that attack hits anything, doesn't matter, they restand. Important because you could put a lot of triggers on them and they could restand and you keep the trigger amount power. Deadly Dan is also 4k in Vzero, and pretty much when he boosts a Vanguard, if you Counterblast 2 and you put 1 card from your hand to the soul, then he could call something from your deck to an open Vanguard circle. It's kind of the same as the Siegfried, that the Siegfried calls from your drive check and he calls from deck by counterblasting 2 and 1 card from your hand. The soul charge is actually very important because you sometimes run out of soul, so you kind of need his soul. And that's also sometimes why you also rewrite is just by creating, you want just to create soul. Alright, then for your starter you play the Mega Trainer, because Mega Trainer could search your grade 1s, and as you can see in this deck we don't even play Wonder Boy, which is the 8k vanilla, because you have an amazing grade 1 lineup that you could, like, you want most of them to be on the field, and that's also the reason why you play 3-3-3, like you play 3 Express, 3 Assault Squad and 3 Dan, because you want 1 Dan and 1 Assault Squad in your hand and on the field, and at the same time the Reckless Express helps you to extend your attacks. So all of them are actually very important. Alright, now we get to the actual combo. So let's show you a fast combo. Let's put our combo playmat right here. Alright, here we go. Ready? Okay, now your Vanguard would be General Siegfried most of the time. That's the Vanguard that you want to have. Again, if you're sitting on Juggernaut or you're sitting on the Skydiver, then that's alright. One more important thing to know about the grade 3 lineup is what do you play, which one is a heal, which one is a draw, and which one is a crit or stand. Pretty much your Juggernaut is the heal because he goes back to the deck, which means that you could keep on healing. So you play 4 heals being the 4 Juggernauts, and all the other cards could be draws. You could play all of them are draws. Why do you want to do that? Pretty much because you will be attacking with your Vanguard to the Vanguard a lot, and because of that you want them to be draws. You could like say, hey, I will make him a crit. You could do that. I sometimes do that because it's just fun to have 1 crit in your deck, and yeah, like why not? But mostly you want to play draws, so all of them should be, in my opinion, just draws. Okay, now let's go to the combo. Let's say that you have 2 soul and your Vanguard is the General Siegfried, and as I said, for the great ones you kind of need 1 of each, so you need 1, 1, 1. That's good. So you need your Deadly Dan chilling behind your Vanguard, and you need your Assault Squad on this side or that side. That's alright, doesn't really matter which side it's on. And then on this side, you want an attacker that could leave. Okay, so you could have a Juggernaut, you could have a Reckless Express, you could have a Bracky. If you have a Juggernaut, then most of the time I kind of keep it in my hand, but it really depends on your opponent. If your opponent is chilling on a 10k, then it's good to leave the Bracky in your hand. So let's say we keep one Bracky in hand, and we have one Juggernaut or one Reckless Express. It's okay, any one of them will do. So let's say you have the Juggernaut. If you have a booster behind this, that's good. If you don't, that's alright, it's not a problem. So this would be in open regular circle, that's fine, that's okay. Alright, now you have on this side, this is when you want to have your Skydiver. The Skydiver is important to be on this side because that's your multi-attacker. Now, we are playing this combo with having in mind that your opponent has 2 interceptors. Alright, so your opponent has 2 interceptors. It's important to know which combo to use when, because depending on the number of interceptors they have, that's how you change your combo around. Okay, so this is your field. Then you attack first with the Juggernaut or the Bracky or the Reckless Express. You Soul Blast one and you attack one of their interceptors. So you take the first interceptor out. Okay, now you attack with your, he goes back to your deck, to the bottom of your deck. Now you attack with the General Siegfried, boosted by the Deadly Dan. Alright, now you attack into a Vanguard. Here you could use your Deadly Dan skill. You use Deadly Dan, you put one card from your hand into the soul. Let's say that you put a Tiger, because why not? Put the Tiger into your soul, and you could call something to one of your open regular circles, and you will call it up here. You don't really want to call grade 3s right away, because your grade 3s are also triggers in deck. If you have a lot of grade 3s left and you think that you will drive check a grade 3 anyway, like you did with the Juggernaut, because you also put that to the bottom, but now because you're searching you have to reshuffle your deck, you could call something like a Reckless Express or Assault Squad. You could call it right there and then wait. But you could also do it differently. You could also say, hey, I could call something like the Devil Summoner. The Devil Summoner will give you option to call even more. But what I normally like to call is something that could attack and could still hit, but it doesn't really cost you too much, and it's not a grade 3, which is mostly a high-speed Bracky. The high-speed Bracky will be perfect to call. But you could, again, you could gamble and call whatever you like, depending on which combo you're going with. Sometimes you could even attack with this into the rear guard, and then you call a Devil Summoner, and the Devil Summoner could call you something else there. And this is more of a defensive strategy because you're calling your grade 2s to intercept. But let's go back to the original combo, and let's say that you call something like a high-speed Bracky, or then now you're going half defense, half offense. Okay, that's with this strategy. If you want to go full on offense, then you would actually recall the Juggernaut Maximum. Now you attack with this, and then if you drive, this will die, and then if you drive check a grade 3, then you could still call it to the back row. That's okay, because next turn you could like move them up, you could do stuff with them. And especially if you call something like a Bracky, then the Bracky will intercept anyway, so this is beneficial. And this is something that you do in the early game. And the late game you will go all out attack. Alright, now let's say that you drive check one trigger. So you could put that trigger on the Assault Squad right here. Alright, so the Assault Squad get the extra 5k. Then whenever you attack, you called right here, will attack, and it could still hit your opponent's Vanguard because your opponent did not have any trigger yet, and they didn't really took any damage yet because this attack hits at the second interceptor. So this attacks the Vanguard, you Soul Blast one, and then he gains an extra 5k, and he goes to the bottom of the deck. Right, now you have this to move up next turn, so you're good to go. Now your opponent's Vanguard takes 1 damage, which let's say they are in 11k, and now they go to the 16k. So they get the extra 5k, they go to 16k. Okay, this is 11 boosted by 6, that's 17, and 5 extra, so that's pretty much 22. So this would still hit your opponent's finger. So you attack and then you hit your opponent's finger. Your opponent will go to 21. If they gain a trigger, then they would go to 26. So let's say that on the second damage they got a trigger. Even if they got a trigger on the first damage, then that would still, this would still hit, because they would be at 21, and 21, and this would hit 22. Okay, so at the end of the battle, you activate his ability, he goes to soul. Now your opponent took 2 damage, one of them being a trigger, so they're pretty much gaining the extra 15k. Yes, because the trigger is a 5k and 2 damage is 15k, which will put them at 26. Now you want to call the Juggernaut that you kept in your hand. That's the reason why you keep the Juggernaut in your hand. Or if they are chilling at 10k, then it's also good to call out a Braki, because that would be the same. This would restand because the attack did hit, and now the Juggernaut could attack, and then you activate the skill of the Juggernaut, you Soul Blast 1, and you give him an extra 5k, which means that this attack will be, this would be 11 boosted by 6, that's 17, that is 27, and this is 26, and that would hit perfectly. Then the Juggernaut would leave, and you have no rear guards in the front row, which is sometimes good against some decks that will really, you cannot intercept against, like with Blockade or with decks that could retire your interceptors or stuff like that. Then it doesn't really matter that much. That's more of the offensive strategy. You have a lot of different strategies that you could do. Sometimes if you don't have your General Siegfried, but you have a Skydiver or Juggernaut, that's also good, because this still hits 15, and that's a great number. But also because you, from this moment, you cannot call your Great Reese, but you could still use Deadly Dance skill to call something, which is still very good. Alright, that's it about this small combo. There are again a lot of combos that you could do. You have also the Skydiver loop that you could do, especially if you have a Skydiver in your hand and you hit. This could attack first, hits the opponent finger. That's without a rear guard on this side. So if you don't have anything, even without Deadly Dance, that strategy still work. So you have 2 Skydivers, one in hand and one on field. You attack with this first, and then with hits the opponent finger, this goes to soul, this restand, you call another one, and then this will attack hits just yet, and would be perfect, like 16 or 16 or 17 or 17, then it goes to soul yet again, and now you will call the Juggernaut or the Braki, and the Juggernaut or the Braki will still attack, and they will still hit, because the Juggernaut will get the extra 5k. That's if they don't get trigger, you could abuse that strategy. So yeah, again, a great combo and a great deck to play. I love playing Spikes so much, even in Zero, because they could go offensively, they could go defensively, they could do a lot of different stuff. And even for a game like Zero, they really made Spike interesting, at least for me to play and enjoy. And I think it's the same for you guys. I'm very happy that it's a clan event, so you will enjoy the clan as well. Maybe you're not the biggest fan of the art, I am, but it's just so much fun to play. Again, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of Vanguard Zero? Do you really play it, or you don't understand the hype around it, or you do play it a lot, or you play it less? Let me know, what do you think of Vanguard Zero? And that's it for me for today. That's it for a small, fast deck profile for Spikes. Again, thanks for watching. Until next time.